Welcome back to the Live with Audacity podcast. You're listening to episode number 20. In today's episode, I sit down with Justine Beauregard, marketing genius behind Growth Mindset Marketers, which is a monthly membership to her marketing coaching services. We discuss the marketing of your business, but more than that, we talk about the importance of having a growth mindset, and that a lot of times that's really what holds us back from our business becoming a success. We also discuss the importance of authenticity and how loving yourself the way you love your kids can help you show up more genuinely. There is so much jam-packed into this episode, so hold on tight because you're about to get your world rocked. You're listening to the Live with Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Stewart. Audacity is defined by Merriam-Webster as intrepid boldness or disregard for normal constraints. And that's exactly what we have here. The Live with Audacity podcast is aimed at giving you the courage to explore your someday dreams, do things your way, and start making things happen in your life right now. I'm a mama to 4 kiddos ranging from college student to kindergartner, wife to a high school football and track coach, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Together with my guests, we're going to teach you how to live with audacity and intentionality, discover and utilize your unique skills and talents, and step into who you are meant to be in order to make your someday dreams a reality. Are you ready? Here we go. Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning back into the Live with Audacity podcast. I am so excited, and I know I swear I say that every single week, but I really am. And I always have so much fun doing this podcast because I get to meet such incredible people, and today is no different. I am so excited to have Justine Beauregard on. She is the personality behind Growth Mindset Marketers. Justine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. And we were actually just talking before we got on that I was checking out your website and we were kind of talking a little bit about marketing. And I am so incredibly excited to talk to you today because as I was telling you, I feel like the marketing gets so confusing and overwhelming because there are so many tips and tricks and things to do to really expand your community or expand your audience, but we can't do all the things, right? And so it gets really overwhelming and we don't know what's to do first or, whatever. So for me, it's been super overwhelming. So tell us a little bit about how you got to this point. What got you into this marketing and your business? But then I want to start diving into how the heck do we filter out what we're supposed to do and make it simple.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. My background is in marketing. Frankly, going way back to the beginning. Ever since I was a little kid, I was around entrepreneurship. My grandmother was actually a serial entrepreneur. She had several businesses and was very successful. She was actually the breadwinner in her household. My grandfather retired in his 40s. And she owned multiple businesses and made millions of dollars all on her own while raising 5 children. So having that influence in my life was really incredible. And growing up, like spending my free time in an office, imagining what my life would be like as a business owner has always been part of who I am. So it was a natural shift for me to go to business school. I went to Bentley University and studied marketing. When I graduated, I got a job working for a startup in my hometown. And that was back in 2008. So it's been almost 12 years that I've been a small business marketer. And in 2015, I launched my first company, which is a marketing consulting firm called Morel Marketing. It's still around today. And I do high-level consulting for clients. And the reason why, or like kind of the shift in how I got to growth mindset marketers, which is really my core focus these days, is because I realized in working for so many startups over the years that a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs don't have the money to pay for these coaches and courses. thousands and thousands of dollars for mentors and materials to help you take your business to that next level. And there was nothing out there that was actually viable to help them grow their business in a really simple and predictable way. There was no one coach or mentor that was really offering anything that was less than thousands of dollars. And I thought, why don't I just take a combination of coaching and coursework and make a membership community where everybody can afford it? It's $49 a month. It's got workbooks, it has templates, it has video courses right on the site. And there's also weekly coaching calls and daily posts and a community of people who come together and provide feedback on your website and your social media posts and your messaging and all of the things to help you grow your business. But it's really also one space. So the overwhelm you were talking about really comes from all the free advice. You follow influencers and people you admire and other business owners and competitors, and it gets to be way too much information. And while none of these people are wrong, it's just too much. Like someone will tell you, do a blog. Somebody else will tell you blogging is dead. Someone will tell you to send 5 emails a week, and someone will tell you to only send one a week. It's just very confusing and conflicting, and it really depends on your business. And the only person that's going to tell you that is someone like a coach or a mentor. And that's what I do.
That is so cool. Okay, so I have so many questions. First of all, what in the world did your grandmother do? That's so cool.
Um, this is actually interesting. So she started in real estate and she did really well with that. She had some amazing, d- she had some houses, some residences, single family homes that she rented. And then she did some really great apartments in Florida. She lived in Boca for part of the year. And so she had some places down there and some places up in New England where we live. And then she started a computer chip company as a female in the 80s and 90s. That was what she did.
Oh my gosh.
And she had multiple locations. My uncle worked for her. My mom worked for her at one point. And growing up, my influence as her being the entrepreneur in my life, and my mom was a single mom, and she couldn't afford to be an entrepreneur, but she always kind of had that spirit, and she always raised me like, I want you to follow your dreams. You can do whatever you want. That was always my mom's thing that she would say to me. And my grandmother had pulled me aside. She died in 2004. And right before she died, she said to me, of all the people in our family, and we're Italian, so there's a lot of us. um, she said, of all the people in our family, you're the one that's going to do it. Like, you're going to come up with the idea. You have the entrepreneurial spirit like no other person I've ever met. And I just feel like this is in your blood and it's what you're meant to do. And it just solidified it for me that I have to go to business school. I've got to carry on this legacy of entrepreneurship in our family, and more not for her, but for me, because I've always wanted to do it. But having someone so successful tell me that they saw that within me was just so powerful.
So powerful, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. You do a coaching call a week, a group coaching call every week. That's bananas. That's like so much value
Yes.
just right there. How did you decide to do that? How did you decide that this is really what people need, and that was going to be so pivotal for your members?
Yeah. So, in thinking about, so I have a business coach and I'm a big believer in coaching. And when I first launched my company, my consulting company in 2015, I had $0 coming in for 3 months. I launched my business and it was crickets. I didn't have anybody buying what I was selling. I had a newborn at home. And the reason why I actually became an entrepreneur back then was because I wanted to stay home with my kids. And when I made that decision and we went 3 months without me making any money, I started to get really scared
Right.
that this was not going to work.
Been there.
And at that moment, I was just like, what am I going to do? I either need to give up on this business or I need to buckle down and take a different approach. And that was the first time I ever had heard about business coaching. That was the first time I ever hired a coach. And it was a lot of money. And it put a strain on us financially, but it was worth it because within a month of working with her, I secured a $3,000 contract. And really, I realized the power behind coaching. She didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. She just helped me realize what I needed to hear to make the decisions in my business that were going to propel me forward. She helped me escape my mind drama around how I was making offers and realize what I thought that I was doing wasn't really what I was doing. And as I worked with her more closely, um, I just realized the power behind that, the power of having somebody give you directed advice. So there's power in coaching, but also I believe in empowering female entrepreneurs how to run their business themselves. And I don't think the coaching piece, while it's super valuable, I don't think it's the only thing people need. At least it wasn't what I needed. So this membership kind of came about because I've designed it based off of what I needed when I was a business owner with no support and making no money. And once I started using some of these tactics together, like enrolling in courses and using workbooks to fuel my growth and then working with a coach, like all the things combined was kind of like magic. When it all came together, it was just that was what I needed. That was the level of support. So having the weekly coaching call makes it easier to go through the workbooks and watch the video trainings and all of the things on the website that are included. And by the way, every month there's a new resource and there's a new video training uploaded to the site. So there's, as the months go on with this business, there's a lot of information. And the idea of the overwhelm doesn't really get any better because I'm providing so many things to these people that it's hard to know where to start. So those coaching calls and the community itself are really the magic of where this community helps propel your growth. So you can use those trainings however you want. You can use those workbooks however you want, but the coaching calls provide an outlet for you to ask your directed questions and get support. And they also help for you to hear other people's struggles and understand, like, I'm not alone. Here's how other people are dealing with it and learn from them. Like, I had one person, and by the way, the coaching calls are themed every week. So the topics are picked in advance and I coach on a specific thing. So last night, we actually had our weekly coaching call about breaking out of a marketing rut. So when you're overwhelmed or confused or you don't feel like your marketing is working, how do you break free from that? And how do you overcome that? And we chatted for like almost 2 hours about this topic because it's a big topic. And a lot of things that came out from one person's business, like one person in the group has a subscription box. So she's a product based business. There's another person in the group who's a photographer. She's a service based business. They were both dealing with the same thing and coming together on that call and realizing, like, I have the same problem. I need that too. Like, let's talk about that. Everyone was learning from each other and gleaning information and insight from each other. And that's where the magic happens. And also just having a space in the community to ask your questions in between the weekly coaching calls and get that advice and support from not just me, but also all of the other members of the community. That's super powerful.
Yeah, I totally agree. Group coaching is just so incredible, right? Because, like you said, you can listen to other people's problems and the solutions that they come up with and relate it to you and your business. And yeah, I totally agree. I'm actually in a group coaching right now, and man, it is so incredible because even if our coach can't be there to answer every single question, every lesson and tidbit of information that we've accumulated, each of us, we can all give it back to each other. And so, like you said, that's where the magic happens, is in the group. And I just think that is so incredible and so incredibly valuable. So, man, I think that your membership is mind blowing, to be honest. I like you said, there's nothing out there like it, and I just think it's wow. It truly, it's wowing the heck out of me. I can't wait to join it and dive in and learn more about it, because I think it's just so
Oh, thank
so
you.
powerful for a small business owner like myself to be able to pay $49 a month to get access to so much information. But not only that, someone, it's not one on one, of course, but someone that can guide a group of people to their solutions. I just think that is so powerful. Will you tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about um, your mindset and how you kind of keep it in check? Because I know that I'm sure that you've seen that meme where it's like, as an entrepreneur, you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, what am I doing? And it's just a
Yeah.
total roller coaster. How do you keep that in check? And do you talk at all about that in your membership?
All the time. So, part of like my brand name is Growth Mindset Marketers, and that's what I cover. I cover growth strategies, I cover mindset blocks, and I cover marketing. And mindset is honestly like that's the big piece. I know it's sandwiched in between the growth and the marketing that people are more aware of and concerned about. And a lot of people do feel like they've mastered their mindset. And when they come into the community, they realize just how far off that is. And not to say that everyone is like, crazy and like going off the deep end or fearful or anything like that all the time. But I said last night on the call, even, and I say this pretty much every day, every week, every moment. I struggle. We all struggle. You're human, right? No one is perfect. Even professional marketers have trouble marketing themselves. Like, I have a business coach, and a few weeks ago, she was like, "You're not making enough offers." And I was like, "I'm offering all the time. I teach my community how to do this." And then she's like, "Really? What's the last offer you made?" And I really couldn't think of one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was adding a ton of value to people and I never actually made a formal offer about my community. I forget to do that sometimes. Like, I get so caught up in stuff that I just have trouble following my own advice sometimes. And that's why having that coach, that sounding board is really, really helpful. So I think like keeping the mindset in check, like I use the community just like everybody else. And I follow like the workbooks that I create for this community, the video trainings, the coaching call themes. They're all based off of what I'm dealing with at the current moment. So when I come up with topics or ideas, it's things I'm struggling with. Like December's resource was all about Facebook marketing. I really dove into my Facebook marketing last month. And based off of my experience and my successes, I put together a workbook on how I did it. And I shared it with my community. I'm very transparent and I don't believe in providing like tidbits of information. I believe in being an open book and sharing that transparency and giving as much value as possible, and there's always an abundance of value to be given. Like if I give all my trade secrets away in month 1, I'll come up with more in month 2, because people who sign up for the community don't sign up for marketing advice. They sign up for me. They sign up because something I posted, something I wrote, something we spoke about resonated with them. They saw my website and something clicked for them. Like I get messages from people all the time in my community who are like, "Oh, I just saw another coach and she was asking me about your community. I think she's trying to do something similar." And I'm like, "Cool. I hope she does." Because she's not me. And if
Right.
people want to work with her, then they should. But I like, you're here because you want to work with me. And I'm confident in my ability to deliver extreme amounts of value. And something that I say all the time is like, I want to be the Henry Ford of marketing. Like he wanted a car in every driveway. I want marketing accessible to every solopreneur, entrepreneur who can't afford to pay big money for the coaches and everyone early on in those courses that make you feel super empowered, and then weeks later that energy just fizzles out. Like this community is ongoing energy like that all the time.
Yes, I think that's what I'm so drawn to, right? Is that it's always there. It's not just, a little 1 month thing or, a 3 month thing or whatever. It's always there, and you can keep going back and keep getting revitalized. I love that. And I
Yes.
love what you say about you want to be able to give all of your information and you're an open book because actually, we were just talking about this in my other group coaching program that, there are coaches out there that will just give a little bit and a little bit here and a little bit there and think that, oh, I can't give you all of my trade secrets because they're mine, and you might go copy me or whatever. But that then you're coming from a lack mindset, right? And you don't really
Yes.
believe that you are the reason that your business is growing and that people are coming to you. You think that they're coming for the information, which, part of that is that they are coming for the information, but the bigger picture is that they're there for you and they resonate with you. I love that you said that. I'm glad you pointed it out.
Oh, great.
So tell me, what is something that you wish you would have done sooner in your business?
In my business and in my life, I would probably say embracing my uniqueness.
Mm, I
Growing
love
up,
that.
I actually I wrote and published a book in 2014 called To the Women Who Want It All. And in that book I talked about how growing up I had a very poor image of myself. Like I have a space in my teeth and I have freckles on my face, and when people looked at me with my glasses or whatever, like there were just little things that I would let get to me. And my mom would always say, "You're so unique." And I was like, "Mom, that is the biggest insult you could say to me. Like, I
Right.
want to be like everyone else, I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be unique." And over the years, she just kept saying, like, one day you'll appreciate this. One day you will learn to love your body. You'll learn to love your mind. You'll learn to embrace your uniqueness. And I never believed her. And when I had kids was really, I mean, and my oldest is now 4, so it hasn't even been that long. And it was really like that time when I had been married for a few years, and my husband just is amazing and he loves everything about me just the way that I am, which I think, when you're in a partnership like that, it's wonderful to have that sort of freedom to be you with no care or concern for what the other person's going to think, because they love you truly unconditionally. I'm not saying he loves all my quirkiness all the time, but he embraces my uniqueness, and it was hard to see myself through his eyes for a long time. And then when I had my kids and my son was born, and I looked at him and just realized, like, the way he looks at me, he literally wouldn't care if I had 3 heads. Like, he loves every moment with me. He loves every flaw, every quirk, every little thing about me, and I him. And it was something about like wanting your kids to feel that the way that you feel about them, about themselves. And I realized, like, if I truly wanted my kids to feel like that, I need to really feel like that. I need to embrace my uniqueness. And actually, I have 2 boys, and both of them have a space in their teeth. And when I look at them, I'm like, "It's so cute. Look at how
Right.
beautiful you are. Like, I love every little quirk about you." And, just seeing that in them, and then realizing, like, I think it's so beautiful and wonderful and all the things in them. Why don't I feel that way about myself? So I've done a lot of work on this. And actually, November's resource in the community is a self-worth playbook and a whole video training about how to infuse confidence into your marketing by learning to love yourself more and embrace your uniqueness. So as I said, I use my struggles and my day-to-day stuff as fuel for the materials that I put together for the group.
Yeah, I love that so much. And something that you said that really stuck out to me was, when we have children and we look at them, sorry, we love every single thing about them and the way they were created.
Yep.
And it's so
I
hard
know, it's so
sometimes.
emotional.
It really is, because I'm looking at a picture of them right now, like, holy crap, I
Yeah.
love every single thing about each of them. And they're all so different.
Oh, you're
And
getting
it,
me emotional too.
and I'm so
It's true
thankful,
though. Why don't we love ourselves like we love our kids, you
right?
know?
And
Like,
I'm so
we need to do
thankful
that.
that God made them each different in their own special way, because they each have so much incredibleness inside of them to give the world. And
Yes.
why don't I believe that about myself? And I know every single person on the planet struggles with that, right? So,
Yep.
man, that was really powerful to hear from you.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're super loving the episode. I wanted to let you know about something really special happening. Have you ever thought, all these people on the Live with Audacity podcast are killing it and living with Audacity? I wish I could do that. Well, now you can. My new Live with Audacity course launches on Thursday, January 30th, and takes you all the way from point A to point Z of Audacity. I'm going to teach you how to gain the confidence you need to step out of your comfort zone so you can start making those big, giant leaps forward that you so desire. I promise by the end of this course, you are going to be so woke and so in touch with who you really are and where you're headed. You will be unstoppable. Are you ready to stop second guessing yourself, to tap into your true purpose and start getting everything you ever wanted? Well, come along for the ride, friend, because you are going to grow by leaps and bounds over this 8-week course. That's right, 8 weeks. And guess what? We link up as a group every single week for questions and feedback. Go to livewithaudacity.co. That's livewithaudacity.co to get all the details right now because early bird pricing ends on January 17th at midnight. So go, get going. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about one thing you would tell someone who is thinking of getting into entrepreneurship or starting a business.
Do it right now. Do not wait.
Right now.
Right now, like jump in head first. So I read this quote when I started Growth Mindset Marketers. It was not even on my radar, to be honest with you. Like, this was a business that kind of came about out of people asking if I would do something like this at first. Some of my clients were asking me, can I just pay you to coach me? Like, when we have conversations and strategy calls, I feel like you're doing it anyway. Can you just make coaching a service? And I was like, I'm not a certified coach. Like, I don't know what goes into that. And they're like, I just want your advice. Like, every time you give me advice, it works. And I just want that to be something that we do. And I started having these regular calls with my clients and giving them this advice. And then I had other people coming to me and saying, I can't afford to pay your hourly rate because that business is more high level. And I do work with small business owners with teams, so their budgets are bigger. But I had solopreneurs coming to me and saying, like, I can't afford your marketing rate, but I would love to work with you as a coach. Would you mind doing a group call with me and a couple of my entrepreneur friends so that it's more affordable? Like, could we pay your rate and split it between the three of us? Or between the five of us or whatever it is. And I started doing them. And then I thought, I feel like this isn't enough support. And going back to like what the power is behind growth mindset is to have like the workbooks and have the video trainings and then also the coaching and then also the community. Like, I feel like all these pieces are really integral. They're the cornerstone of a strong business that's growing at a rapid rate. And when I thought about creating this community, I read this quote that said, if you've launched it perfect, you've launched it too late. And it really struck me.
Ooh, that's good.
And I thought, I at the time when I launched this business, I had an 8-month-old. And I was like, this is way too much. Like, I have an 8-month-old, I'm barely sleeping. He's teething all the time. I have a 4-year-old, I had a 3-year-old at the time. We had a lot going on, and my husband was back in school. It was just the wrong time. There's never a good time, by the way. But it was
Never.
it was just like that fear and that uncertainty. And it was like, should I do this? Can I do this? And I read that quote and I was like, I'm just going to throw something up and see what happens. And I put it together. And I slowly started building out my page, and I had a couple of people interested, and 20 days went by and nobody signed up. And I was like, it's only been 20 days. Like, I'm going to give it like a proper, what I tell my community, give it 3 months, like give it a proper 3 months, just like I did with my first business until I signed on with a coach, like give it some time. And 21 or 20 days, like later in that day, on the 20th day, I got my first paying member. And now I have 42 members, and it's been just about 4 months. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and it's been like the comments that I'm receiving in this group. I'm Someone wrote, "You've literally changed my life, my family's life. Like, I will be eternally grateful to you." Somebody else was telling me within 5 days of signing up, they doubled their monthly revenue. Another person
Holy cow.
said to me, like, she had paid $5,000 for a business coach that did nothing for her. And just in the first video she watched, she felt like she got more value from that than she ever got from the coach that she paid $5,000 for. And I save all these
Wow.
little tidbits of information. I save all these screenshots. They're actually, a lot of them are on my website as social proof, because I wake up every day to messages like this, and I know for a fact that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. So don't let the fear of the unknown paralyze you from making a decision. If you feel compelled to be an entrepreneur, dive in head first. Don't wait, do it, and give it the time that it deserves to breathe and grow. And if you feel stuck, I'm your girl. I can help you.
Oh, I love it so much. I am literally struggling with this right now. Like right now. Like this week is crazy. Because it's just so mind-blowing. I have all of these ideas
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then I like start second guessing myself, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know. How's that gonna work out? Like I feel like I need to see the whole map
Yeah.
before I take, the first step. And that's so ridiculous. Like I know better than that. Um, so man, that's so powerful that you said that. And actually you have 43 members because I literally signed up while you were talking.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
That's so funny.
I'm so not kidding. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be so incredible, and I cannot wait for other people to hear about it and hopefully jump on the bandwagon too, because I just think that's going to be so powerful for them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tell me about, yeah, I mean, I'm seriously just totally mind blown about all of it. I think it's going to be so great. So tell me about a time you felt like you failed and what you learned from it.
Um, so I don't believe you can fail if you don't stop trying. But having said that, I definitely feel like I have struggles, and there have been times where I felt like a failure. And I would probably say, like, one of the recent ones, I was getting really poor engagement on social media for a couple days in a row. And I realized that in rereading my posts, going back to them, I wasn't writing as energetically as I typically do, like feeling my energy flowing into those posts. As I was writing them, I was writing them kind of out of necessity, like I was phoning it in a little bit. And I think it was because I was at a time where I had already met my goal for the month. I had surpassed my goal, actually. And I was kind of just like, oh, I feel like I should be showing up on social media. And I was just kind of posting just to post. And I have taken a step back from that and realized, like, I need to do more things that are coming from a place of like excitement and joy, just like I teach the community. And so I did, and I was again on the coaching call last night. It was so powerful, the coaching call last night. But I was telling my members, you know, I had this view of how I should be seen by other people when I launched my business, like how many likes and how many shares and how many comments, like it matters for people to see that, to believe in you. That's what I convinced myself of. And I told myself this story over and over again. And I've learned that it means nothing. Those are vanity metrics and no one cares. I did a post last night right before the coaching call. And I was just like writing it from a place. I wasn't even going to write anything because my son turned 1 last night and I was really trying to be present with my family. And there was this thing that happened to me the other day. This woman had reached out to me and she asked me for advice. And this happens to me like once a day. People reach out to me and ask me for free advice. And I love giving advice to people, so I don't mind responding. But she had given me this link to her landing page and said, "Would you mind taking a look and letting me know what your thoughts are?" And as soon as I looked at her page, I was like, "Oh gosh, there's so much wrong with this page." The sales copy was like super graspy. The images were a little bit spammy looking. There was just a lot going on with it that just didn't resonate. It wasn't going to convert. And she was like, "I've been using this page for so long and I'm not getting any sales. And can you take a look?" So I did. And as soon as I told her these things in a nicer way, that her copy needed some work and that her images you needed to be adjusted, she said to me, "Thank you so much, but I don't agree." And
Uh,
I knew right then and there, like, why, first of all, why would you even ask me for advice if you're not going to, like, at least hear me out on it? But then also,
right.
like, I knew confidently I could say she is going to continue to use this page unsuccessfully. Her business is going to be stalled in growth. She's not going to see the results that she wants. And I just was feeling so frustrated by this because I'm like, I know how to help you. I've been doing this for almost 12 years. I have helped build businesses. Like, I know what I'm talking about. And you asked me for advice and now you're not going to take it. So I posted about it. And then at the end, I said, if this is you, if your sales page isn't converting, if you feel like you're not sure about your messaging and you need help, I am here. Like, you need to join my community. You need to be a part of it because this is what I do. I can help you. And I got like maybe a handful of likes, one comment. And within 5 minutes of posting it, I had 4 people book discovery calls with me and one person signed up right away.
Oh,
And I
wow.
told my community, imagine if I had posted that and after, imagine if I didn't get the response right away and I had taken it down because nobody was liking or commenting on it. Like, people from the outside would look at that post and be like, "Oh, that's a cool post. She got like 5 likes and 1 comment." But I got 4 discovery calls and 1 client. And the likes and the comments don't reflect that. So I would say, like, to most people from the outside looking in, that's a fail to not get all the comments and all the likes and all the engagement from the algorithms and everything else. But I got more engagement from that post on the back end that some people will never hear about or never know about. And I think that is way more powerful. And so, like, learning that it's not all about what other people think or care about, it's what you believe, what feels good to you, to do that, to put that out into the world, to see the results that come back when you really write things with intention. That's like the most powerful thing.
Yeah, I love that you said that because you know, I've talked a little bit about this in my other group coaching. I keep referring back to that because that's just what I'm in right now. Um, and we all struggle with the same stuff. All business owners struggle with the same stuff, I feel like.
Yes.
And so that's why I love your membership, because you can address all the things that everyone is struggling with. But I love that you said that the likes and the comments don't really matter in the long run, because it is so easy to get drawn into that and that comparisonitis, right?
Yeah.
And
Comparison is the thief of joy.
people,
I say that all the time.
absolutely, absolutely. And what's really crazy is that there are so many people watching and looking and taking notice, but they refuse to like it because they don't want anyone else to know that they resonate with it, right?
Yes,
um,
actually,
but they do.
when I told this story in the group last night, one of my members was like, "It's funny you should say that because I stopped doing Instagram stories because I feel like nobody was listening to me because nobody was clicking on anything." And I said, "I challenge you," because I love to challenge my group members. You'll notice this because I know that you're in it now, so you'll be challenged all the time by me. But I
Yay.
said to her last night on the call, I said, "Listen, I challenge you to go do stories. Like, go start that up again and see what happens. She commented in the group this morning. You'll see it in the Facebook group. She said, Justine, after last night, I did a story this morning and I got a message from someone within 5 minutes saying, "Where have you been? I've missed your stories." Like a total lurker who never liked or did anything was waiting for her
Uh-huh.
to be active again. And she was like, mind blown. Wow, no one was engaging with my stories. No one was telling me that they liked them. I didn't get many views at all right off the bat. And then she went back, and as soon as she started them up again, she was already getting comments within just a few minutes. And I'm like, see how powerful this is? Like, you don't think people are watching you. Facebook has 2.4 billion, a third of the population is on Facebook as a daily active user, and you're posting stuff, people are seeing it. Even if you don't think they are, even if you don't feel confident that the stuff that you're putting out there, if it feels good to you, other people will feel the same way. I guarantee you, other people see it, other people feel it. You might not know. I've only been running this community for 4 months, since August. And I've had people reach out to me and say, "I've been following you for a while and I think it's time for me to join." And I'm like, "What's a while? I've been in business for like 2 months at this point." And they feel like they've been following me forever. Like, that's powerful right there in itself.
Yeah, totally. And what's crazy is you can be out and about, and uh, I've had this happen to me. I've had people message me and be like, "Oh my gosh, your post means so much to me," or "I love your podcast,"
Aw, that's
or
awesome.
"I love what you're doing," or something like that. And it's like, I didn't even know that you knew I was doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
So
sometimes
yeah,
when
it's
you
so
post on other people's stuff, like you comment on someone else's post, that person might not engage with you, but you might get other people who saw what you wrote to that person and they engage with you. That's happened to me so many times too. Like, someone will ask for advice on a thread, and I'll give advice to that one person, and then someone 2 weeks later will be like, "Hey, I saw your comment on so and so's post and I really loved what you said. Can we chat?" And I wasn't even
oh
speaking
my
to
gosh,
them.
isn't that so incredible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is so much power in social media. We just have to learn to harness it and use our content. So that's something that I really struggle with, is like the content machine, right? Like,
Mm,
my goodness, I have so much content I'm supposed to put out. But what I really need to do is just figure out a way and a system to use the content that I've already created
yes.
and morph it for different places. So I'm excited to learn about that in your group, I hope.
Yeah, we talk about repurposing content. I actually have a sample marketing schedule to help keep you on task and make it more streamlined for you to find time in your day. I actually did a recent training on how to create a 60-minute marketing plan. So, if you only had 60 minutes a day, how would you use it to fuel your growth with marketing? I have a video training on how to market more effectively. Like, there are tons and tons of tools in the community for that.
So exciting! So exciting. Well, man, I hope that this episode really ignites something in somebody, and they realize that they don't have to struggle, and there are resources, there are people that can help them. I really hope that they decide to check into your membership. Of course, I will link it in the show notes, because I think it's going to be so powerful. And also, once I dig in a little bit, I'll be sure to kind of write something up for the show notes to kind of let them know that yes, absolutely, this is amazing, if that's the case.
It
So,
will be.
man, this was so fun. I know, I totally know that it will. um, but I just don't want anyone to think that I'm gonna say, "Oh, it's so awesome," when I don't know yet.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I have no doubts. So, man, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out. Let's do a little bit of rapid fire real quick.
Okay.
What is a book, article, person, or talk that changed your life?
Simon Sinek.
Ooh, okay.
So if you haven't read his stuff,
I'm gonna
he
write
has a
that
book
down.
called Start With Why. That was his first book. He actually did a TED Talk years ago on a concept called the Golden Circle. And the book that he wrote that really resonated with me, and I actually bought a copy of it for each of my consulting clients and just mailed it to them randomly in the middle of the year. because it was that powerful that I felt everyone that I worked with had to read it. It was called Leaders Eat Last, and it is the best, probably one of the best books I've ever read. He's a beautiful writer, and just the things that he talks about, you could reread it 15 times and still get incredible insight from it each time.
I am so glad that you said that because my husband is actually working on creating a leadership program. He's
Oh
a
my
high school
gosh.
football and track
Yep.
coach. Yeah, he's working on creating a leadership program for his teams. And so this is going on his Christmas
Christmas list.
list.
There you go.
So that's so cool. Okay, what is your favorite Friday night at home?
Snuggling with my kids and my husband on the couch watching a family movie.
Amen. I feel like that is, because we run and run and run and run so much as families and moms and parents and kids that that seems to be a lot of people's answer because it's that time where it's like we don't really have anywhere we have to hurry up and be typically on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to just be with your family and relax and just hang out with them, right? I love that.
Yeah.
What was your dream job as a kid?
An entrepreneur. I think
I love that. Actually, when you said that at the beginning, I was like, I think I know what the answer is going to be
it's
to this
funny.
question.
Yeah, I was asked to speak at this local conference for small business owners a few weeks ago, and there were like maybe 70 people, like between 60 and 70 people in the audience. And I went there and they said, they asked me kind of a similar question. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Was the question. So it was kind of similar. And I said yes. As a matter of fact, when I was like 5 years old, I used to host puppet shows in my backyard and charge $5 for my neighbors to come and watch. And everyone was cracking up in the audience like, that is hilarious. Can you imagine this little 5-year-old in her backyard? Like, I created these sock puppets and I had my mom is super crafty, and I had her make me like this little puppet show box that I could do these puppet shows, and I charged a $5 cover fee, and people paid for it. It was crazy. And I realized like I could get people to pay for anything as long as, I can figure out how to sell the value of it. And after that, I have been myself a serial entrepreneur since I was a kid. I sold friendship bracelets and keychains. And then when I was in high school, I actually made purses and clothes and I sold them to people at my school. And I did a local craft fair a bunch of times with my mom. She helped me a lot with that. And I've always had that entrepreneurial gene. So
That's so cool.
yeah,
Yes, I was the same way, but I always would give up when because I never knew how to get the message out.
we're
So
going to work on
I've
that.
always struggled with marketing. Exactly. I know. I'm very excited about
I'm the
that.
yin to your
Okay,
yang.
tell me about that. Exactly. Oh my gosh, so funny. I actually wrote that down in a meeting I was in yesterday, or sorry, Tuesday, and we were talking about, when you find someone to bring onto your team or,
Yeah.
a partner to work with in your business, you really got to find that person that's not exactly like you that complements you,
Yes.
right? And the same is true for marriage too. So
I
I
was
think
just
any
thinking the
partnership
same thing.
is that way.
Yep.
So there you go. Okay, tell me about the next vacation you're planning with your family.
With my kids being so little, we don't really take a lot of vacations. We do some local we live right by the mountains, like a couple hours outside of this beautiful protected forest range, and we like to go up there every summer and sometimes in the winter. This year we're not going to go, but actually my husband and I were recently tossing around the idea of getting together with some of our friends and going to an all-inclusive somewhere in like the Caribbean or something. So that might be the next vacation we take.
Oh, girl, you send me the details. I'm kidding. I'm
You are
kidding.
welcome to come.
But yeah, no, I've been I've been thinking about that too. Like, man, I just want to go sit on a beach
Read a
and
book.
just hang out.
Yeah.
Yes, have a drink
Right.
quietly. um, Tell me the best advice you have for our listeners to live with audacity.
Take risks and follow your intuition, because I feel like messy action is better than no action. I talk about this a lot in the group. Um, just like living with Audacity to me means just feeling confident and shouting out your purpose and living it and embracing it and having it roll off of your tongue like your first name. And I feel like if you have the courage to take those risks and to follow your instincts and take those actions, you can never go wrong.
Man, yes, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, where can people find you to get more information about the membership and just about you?
Yeah, so everything is Growth Mindset Marketers. So at Growth Mindset Marketers, I actually have a group that I just launched a few weeks ago on Facebook. It has almost 600 members in it. Where I do free
Holy
marketing.
cow.
I do free marketing trainings in there. I also have my Facebook business page where I go live and I answer questions and support people in that way. And then my website is growthmindsetmarketers.com. I'm also on Instagram, but like I said, I'm not like huge into Instagram right now because everything I do is on Facebook. So if you want to find me, Facebook is probably the best place to start.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I am very excited about this, and I hope, like I said, it resonates with someone else out there, and they find your group and they find so much empowerment in your membership. So like I said, I'll link everything in the show notes. Thank you again so much for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Hey y'all, I had to jump in here real quick because I need a favor. If you are loving the Live with Audacity podcast, I need you to do me a big solid favor and share it with your friends, share it on social media, and go to the Apple iTunes link and click subscribe, rate it, review it. I need to know your feedback, and I want to keep putting this out for you, so I really need your help to get the message out. Thank you so much for your loyalty and your super kind and sweet words. They mean so terribly much to me.